What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants Are Us, as always with Lance, my co-host on audio. Say hi, Lance.
Hey guys, what's up?
I'll say it with enthusiasm, man. This is
That's
Rants Are
about as
Us.
enthusiastic as I'm gonna get at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, we're night owls. This is the way we've worked for 20 years, man.
That was
But,
me before I had 3 kids.
yeah, I know, right? Hey, I get where you're coming from on that. But as always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. All right, so today we're going to be talking about Kevin Feige making some interesting news about the MCU. He's saying that, Marvel Studios might, that streaming services is the future for the MCU. What do you think about that?
I personally think that the streaming services is going to be 100% everything here soon.
Yeah.
Like I feel like everything else is going to die out. Movie theaters are going to all shut down permanently eventually. It's kind of like the drive-ins back in the day. Once they started creating movie theaters, those started getting closed down.
Yeah.
And I think the streaming service is going to do that to movie theaters. And I don't personally have an issue with it because let's be clear, it's a lot cheaper for me to buy a streaming service than it is to take my whole family out to a movie theater.
Yeah, because it was getting so expensive. I mean, look, take all the 2020 stuff out of the question. Even with it, it was getting really expensive to take your family.
Absolutely,
absolutely. I've got 2 kids. By the time I pay for a ticket, popcorn, and all that stuff for them, I would be breaking the bank for that. And
absolutely,
that movie would have to really be worth it.
4 of y'all, 5 of us,
yeah,
we'd be breaking the bank for sure. Candy, popcorn, drinks.
Yeah,
so not to mention the price of the tickets alone,
and the gas to get out there, and trying to keep your kids. We've got small kids, trying to keep them, satisfied during the movie.
Yeah, you pay for the movie and then popcorn and all that, and then your kid wants to leave because they don't really want to be there, and now you just wasted all that money.
They can get out of here.
Streaming service, my kid starts acting crazy, I can hit pause and deal with them and come back to it.
That's the way
I just feel like the streaming service is the future of entertainment altogether anyway.
Not only the streaming services, but you take like HBO Max and all that stuff. I think you'll have it for like 48 hours. So like if you want to go back and you want to rewatch something of it, you can do that. That's something you can't do at the theaters. So I mean, I think it's absolutely the way to go. But this is what Kevin Feige had to say about it. Streaming is 100%.
I do worry about without the prices of paying for movies that the quality of things we get might start to go down.
That is true. That is true. But this is what Kevin Feige had to say. Streaming is 100% the future and where consumers want to watch things. And hopefully they'll want to watch our long-form narrative series. An experience like WandaVision is something you can't get in a movie. You go to movies for things you can't get on streaming. And you go to streaming for things you can't get in a theater. And of course, everything in a theater goes to streaming eventually. Alright, so you touched on a really big point. And it's a point that we do need to touch on. Is if everything goes to streaming services, does that mean that the content that we get is going to be, I don't know, less quality?
Or the quality of the content, I feel, might go down. I worry about that. But
and that's, you know what, that's actually a fair point. Because I worry about that too. Because, I mean, look, you take shows like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones wouldn't have been any better if it was in a movie form because it had a huge budget. But when you take things like, I don't know, I even would go so far as say some things on Netflix. One of those kind of, or Hulu, those kind of streaming services. I feel like there's some things that could be different.
Take shows like Frontier, for example. They started out really strong, but eventually they started getting low in quality because partly because it was just for straight up Netflix. It's a Netflix show, and I feel like it started dipping in quality because of that.
Yeah, I feel
if this had been a If this had been like a movie series going to theaters, I don't think the quality would have went down the way it did.
Well, that's actually, you know what, I would actually kind of agree with you on that. I think that with a lot of these streaming services, is they want to hurry up and get a product out there as quickly as possible. Look at Disney, for instance. Disney with the Star Wars series, they're wanting 10 spinoffs of Star Wars that's going to be coming out in the next few years. They're just going to keep pumping it out, pumping it out, pumping it out. You cannot tell me the quality is not going to go down doing that, because it's the same studios that's making this, so they would go broke if you know there
Yeah, if
wasn't
there's no
something
way to
going on
get
with it.
their profits back, they can't put
Yeah.
these profits into the next project. So
Yes. Yes. Definitely. Definitely.
either I think what's going to happen if they go in order to keep the quality from going down through streaming, if everything goes to streaming, these streaming services are going to begin to cost
Yes.
extremely. Like, where you pay like, let's say you pay like $8 or whatever it is for Disney Plus, eventually it might be like 40.
Yeah. And yeah, streaming service. Look,
So
let's face it,
going to the
streaming
streaming
services are
services, going 100% to streaming service might not be such a good thing as we think it is, because let's say they do make every one of these streaming services, let's say $50 a month. I ain't gonna be able to afford that. I mean,
know. Like, look, I'll be honest with you. I don't care how many Star Wars programs is on Disney Plus. I ain't paying $40 for
Netflix's price is about to go up at the end of the month.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like
Yeah.
$15 now, I think is what they said, and it's just gonna continue to get higher and higher because you're getting more content.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm not willing to pay for that with Netflix. Now,
not unless they make some serious improvements.
Yeah.
Like,
because
you gotta give me a lot better content for money.
I haven't seen very many shows on there that really stand out to me.
Hulu's the big one. Look, Hulu's the big one for me. Like, there's no great content on Hulu. I just canceled Hulu tonight because I've burned through everything they could offer me on Hulu, and I'm not going to continue to pay the price they're wanting me to pay for it for no content. So I've already canceled my Hulu subscription.
Look, I almost kind of feel that way. I really, really enjoyed The Mandalorian Season 2, but I'll admit, The Mandalorian Season 2 is not enough to pay for Disney Plus for me.
No, I mean,
and if it went up anymore, I definitely wouldn't do it. I don't care how many shows they got.
The whole thing with the Disney Plus thing is I would not still have Disney Plus if I did not have children.
Yes. I would actually, same here. But let me just...
Now, with Hulu, the only thing I was really looking forward to with Hulu was Mayans MC, and I don't know when that's coming back out, so I canceled it. And when it comes out, I'll probably get it back so I can watch it. But other than that, I mean,
I think we're gonna have to see when it comes to Wonder Woman 1984 and all these different movies that are fixing to come out just on HBO Max. We're gonna have to see how many people pay for that subscription.
Well, see, HBO Max to me is $15 a month, and to me it's worth it because they got a lot of content, not just with their series, but with movies and everything else. I was browsing through there, and I was like, okay, I want to see this, I want to see this, I want to see this, I want to see this. I'm gonna get this.
Yeah.
I'm willing to pay that price for the content that they're willing to give me. But with other streaming service, not so much. So
but
they're either going to really have to up their content for me to keep these streaming services, or I'm not going to keep paying for it.
Yeah, but see, with the content of like a series on HBO Max, you won't have to pay extra. But with movies, you'll have to pay not just the $15 subscription thing, but then you're going to pay like an extra amount. I don't know how much it is to watch the movie.
It probably depends on the movie.
Huh? Yeah.
It probably depends on the movie how much more you're going to have to pay. So, yeah.
Look, Mulan. Mulan was the first big one that came out. Mulan was garbage, and it wasn't worth a cent or a minute of
No,
my
you
time.
know, and they wanted like $30 for that on Disney
Mm-hmm.
Plus, and I told my wife, I said, don't buy that crap. Here in a
Yeah, it
few
wasn't
months,
worth it.
when it's past the theater time
Yeah,
limit, it's gonna be put on there for free. So why
yeah,
pay it? And sure enough, now it's on there for free.
yeah,
And I tried to watch it, and I watched like 20 minutes of it, and I was like, turn this crap off.
yeah. So I mean, there's
So
no
if I
way.
paid the $30 for 20 minutes worth of the movie, I'd have been
Yeah.
pretty pissed.
And I'll admit, look, if I'm watching HBO Max and they've got a bunch of Marvel series on here, if I feel like there's a lot of these Marvel series aren't worth my time, I'm probably not
No,
going to want to pay even the $15 for HBO Max. I might still be
no,
willing to
absolutely
do
not.
that, but I definitely would not do it if the movies start sucking.
But
Yeah,
there's a lot on HBO Max that are coming to HBO Max that not just Marvel that make me feel like it's worth it. Like
yeah,
the
I can see that.
the House of the Dragon series is going
Hmm.
to be on HBO Max. The Gotham PD series is coming to HBO Max. So there's a
Yeah,
lot of things that I'm willing to go ahead and do with HBO Max
yeah.
for now. But we'll see how that plays out.
And you know what? They're even talking about the exact same thing with Game of Thrones. Maybe putting out a few more Game of Thrones series out there for HBO Max to go along with it. I'm
Yeah.
still my stand on that is let me see House of the Dragon first before I would even
Commit to another
commit to another
spinoff.
one.
Yeah.
And I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of these studios they're so gung ho on wanting to. They're seeing this new opportunity arise,
Right. I'll be
and
honest with
and
you.
I
For
think they're a
me,
little too gung ho to get it out without seeing if it works or not.
I'll be honest with you. For me, for the as far as the streaming services go, the one I've been most impressed with, I would have to say, would be Amazon. You know, but
Yeah, I actually would agree with you on that. I mean, love them or hate them, the boys. I still thought like if you loved season two or hated season two, I still felt like just that show alone was worth it. That's the way I felt towards it. Like,
I would almost agree with you. You know, I wasn't a big fan of season two, but
yeah,
I wanna check out season three. So
yeah, I know.
yeah,
But I mean,
I
there's
would
so many other little
almost.
shows that's on there that
Yeah.
that Carnival
And
Row I think is the name
You
is
know
pretty
what?
decent.
And there's a lot of good movies on Amazon Prime that you don't have to pay for. Like,
Yes, yes. So I mean, overall, I agree with Kevin Feige on this. I actually think this is going to be the future. I still think that studios should be less gung ho on just going after it full force.
I do think
And let's
that's
see how
like
it
I
works
do
for us.
think that streaming services is the future of
Yeah,
entertainment,
yeah.
but I worry that the prices are gonna really get crazy if that's what happens.
Oh, I think by the time our kids become teenagers, right now they're toddlers, but by the time they get to be teenagers, we're probably going to be looking at streaming services and probably being like, you know what? It was cheaper just to go to the movies. We're probably going to actually feel that way because,
So another streaming service that kind of gets overlooked a lot too is YouTube TV. I mean, that's
yeah,
a big one,
yeah.
man.
But I mean, you're not, let's face it, the average family isn't going to be able to pay for YouTube TV, Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu,
Right.
HBO Max. They're going to have to pick and choose.
Now, and I do think that, you know, as far as like satellite and cable, that's dying out too.
Oh, yeah, that's almost
Because of
dead.
these streaming services. Like I
Yeah.
haven't had satellite or cable in 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, I don't. That's one thing. We have YouTube TV here. I personally enjoy YouTube TV, but usually only for football.
I would personally
That's it.
recommend YouTube TV
Mm-hmm.
because of all the sports and
Yeah,
everything else that come along with it. You know,
dude.
there's a lot of kid stuff.
If it wasn't for my football, I wouldn't care too much. My kids mostly watch YouTube anyway, so I don't even watch I mean HB. I mean Disney Plus really isn't even worth it for
Look,
me.
I've gotten so out of sports here lately that I just go and watch highlights on YouTube.
Sometimes it's better to do that. Yeah, I'll admit.
It saves me from breaking remotes and TVs and
No, unfortunately, it doesn't save me from it. Because there's still a few remotes that fly around the house a little bit. We've seen some unidentified flying objects
But
fly
yeah,
around our
I
house
do think
sometimes.
that Marvel's the first of many to come
I
and
do
just
too.
be like, we're going 100% streaming.
I think it's going to be
But that,
Marvel. I think it's going to be Game of Thrones. I think it's going to be Star Wars. I think we're going to all of a sudden just see
I
a
mean,
barrage of these things.
Star Wars is almost there now when it comes to
Yeah,
Disney Plus. So,
I think.
I agree with that. But
I think.
that's about all I gotta say on it.
Yeah, I think when it comes to Star Wars, I think Star Wars is probably the boldest of all of them right now because they're just going in it just full force. Like they're not even waiting around; they're just going for it.
Which
I think
might
it's
be
a
a
mistake.
mistake, and
I do too.
it might be a mistake when they go to reboot the sequel series.
Oh,
That might hurt them.
I actually think that too. But yeah, that's about all I got to say on it too. Me personally, I think it's a good idea for short term, but a bad idea long term. That's the way I look at streaming services because of content quality
I
and
think it's gonna
cost.
hurt people's wallet a lot more in
Yes.
the long term game than it will
Yep.
anything else.
I think it's going to cut out a lot of fan bases because, like I said, when you got all these
No.
different streaming services, you're going to have to start picking and choosing when they start going up on prices.
Yeah, I
Which
mean,
one you
because
want?
look, Disney Plus is supposed to be on the rise too because they're
Yeah.
supposed to come out with the Percy Jackson reboot series on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
They, Disney Plus is not the underdog that everybody thinks they are because they got a lot of things in the works.
Yeah. That's the way I actually kind of almost feel like them and HBO Max are at the top of the game right now.
But I mean, at this point, Disney Plus is the way to go because it's the cheapest. Like it's
Yeah.
like six
Oh,
ninety nine a month or something like that.
Definitely. And it's got
You know.
stuff for your kids, and I think that kind of
I
works
mean,
for
yeah, it's got
families.
stuff for my kids, but it's also got a lot of nostalgia stuff for me.
Yeah, I know.
Like
I'm kind of
Darkwing
that way
Duck and
too. So I,
Gargoyles and
yeah,
stuff like that. Goof Troop. And,
dude, I feel you on that one. I feel you on that one. I probably watch those cartoons more than my kid does. But
I,
anyways, guys, I think that's about it for me at least. What about you, Lance?
I've said what I have to say.
All right. Well, as always, guys, thank y'all for watching, and y'all take care.